Hello. Hello and welcome back to another video or audio if you're listening in an audio format. My name is Justyna. Welcome to my channel. If you're a returning viewer or listener, welcome back and thank you for joining me today. So here today I'm going to talk about the upcoming lunar eclipse in Pisces. It's a north node eclipse happening on the 7th of September at 15 degrees of Pisces. So this eclipse season, we've got two eclipses. The first one is a lunar in Pisces. The second one is a solar in the sign of Virgo. So we start with the north node eclipse. We end with the south node eclipse. We are currently in this eclipse cycle. Next year, we start a brand new eclipse cycle on a Virgo and on Leo and Aquarius axis. Now here, all right, so first of all, in the first part of this video, I will cover the general overview of this lunar eclipse. In the second part, I'll go through the all signs. So if you haven't seen yet, I created a workbook, a guide for this eclipse season. It's a 19-page A4 page guidance with general overview, do's and don'ts, rituals for this eclipse season, and also horoscopes for each sign. So this is a donation-based guide, and pay what you want, what you wish, what you feel like, and the donations will go through my astrology work all right, so that's what I wanted to tell you. All right, so first of all, eclipse season is really exciting because during eclipse season, things happen. These are really important moments, and I'm sure in many lives in many lives, in many of your lives. I'm not sure if I said it correctly, but what I want to say is that I'm sure many of you are already experiencing lots of things taking place. What happens during eclipse season? Usually, we start new jobs. New people enter our lives. Some people leave our lives' realities, not necessarily through death, but perhaps misalignment. We start new jobs, careers. We relocate. So generally, eclipses are very, very important, very intense, new or full moons. They are 5 to 6 times stronger than regular lunations, and they generally accelerate the timeline. All right, so here, what will be happening in your life? It highly depends what area of life is activated in your birth chart and whether any placements, any planets, points are activated. Natal points, planets activated by this eclipse during this time. Now, here, this is a north node eclipse. So here, this is about the future, the unknown, aligning ourselves with the direction we should be heading. A south node eclipse, which will be in about 2 weeks. It will be about, it will have a karmic undertone because it's a south node. So very often with the south node, even a solar eclipse, something is often eclipsed out of our lives just before we start something brand new. All right, so if you feel like things are kind of falling apart just as you start this eclipse season, don't give up. Very often, people lose their jobs, things don't work out as the eclipse season begins, and then by the end of the eclipse season, suddenly there is a major turn of events and generally a happy ending, so to speak. All right, so here, if your birthday falls on the 7th of September, happy birthday. This coming year is very significant for you because whenever our birthday falls on a lunar eclipse, this is a year of endings, conclusions, major breakthroughs, revelations. So definitely keep this in mind. And also, if you have any placements at around 15 degrees of the mutable signs, so whether this is Pisces, Virgo, Sagittarius, or Gemini, this is also extremely important because you'll be under greater influence of this eclipse. So definitely keep this in mind. We've got a Pisces eclipse. Pisces is a water mutable sign. So here, flexibility, adaptability is essential during this time. We've got a lovely connection with a trine with Cancer, Jupiter in Cancer, which is great. But here, I'm going to share my screen with you now so that you can see the alignments I'll be discussing, and then we'll go through each horoscope for each sign. Right, so I have the chart here ready for you. So this is the chart for this lunar eclipse. And as you can see, we've got Saturn is now also in Pisces retrograde. Neptune is still in Aries retrograde. And we've got a beautiful connection with Jupiter in Cancer, which is actually definitely considered a blessing. Right, so here we've got, as I mentioned earlier, a North Node lunar eclipse. As you can see, the North Node is close to the eclipsed moon. We can't have an eclipse without the involvement of the nodes, by the way. So generally a north node lunar eclipse happens when the moon aligns with the north node of the moon. So here the north node is the point of destiny, growth, and our soul evolution. So generally here eclipses are overall like doorways. They open new opportunities. But here, something I didn't cover at the beginning is that this eclipse is connected to the cycle that started in March 2024. During that time, we had a new moon in Pisces that took place at a similar degree. So definitely try to remember what happened in your life around that time, because here during this eclipse season, whatever you started during that new moon, March 2024 could come to fruition, culmination, and so on. So overall eclipses indicate fated events. They can feel very fated, and they often bring major breakthroughs, revelations. So here, a North Node eclipse indicates a turning point, new direction, growth. We are moving forward, while a South Node eclipse is connected to letting go, clearing. It's a clearing away phase, even regardless if it's a solar or a lunar. The South Node clears the path away so that we can move forward. But here, the North Node's involvement in this lunar eclipse, this is most likely as a turning point, new direction, after perhaps a completion phase. Right. All right, so here, as you can see, the eclipsed moon is conjunct the North Node in Pisces. So this generally tells us that any events that take place around this time, they are steering us forward. This is definitely about moving forward. And at the same time, the lunar energy of the lunar eclipse energy of this event, because of course, a lunar eclipse is a very, very, very powerful full moon. So also think about, what are you letting go of? And what are you leaning into as well? So with the Pisces energy, it's about trust, it's about intuition as well, creative, mystical energy. So generally what feels like an ending, what may feel like an ending around this time, it is actually redirecting us toward what our soul came here to grow into, to move into. Now, as you can see, this eclipse forms a square, so tense energy to the part of fortune. Now, the part of fortune represents where we find joy, where we find alignment. But the square here represents tension. The square represents a possible obstacle we may have to overcome. So perhaps this could be about having to confront some fears, limiting thoughts, getting out of your comfort zone, for example, in order to move forward, in order to experience a sense of fulfillment. So there is definitely faith in the air and hope, but at the same time, since it's a North Node energy, sometimes we need to get out of our comfort zone, because sometimes the energy is slightly, well, the direction we're moving into can feel slightly unknown, unfamiliar. Now, we also have a beautiful trine to Jupiter in Cancer. So this is actually such a beautiful alignment here. Jupiter in Cancer feels absolutely great and comfortable, strong, fantastic. So this is a very big blessing happening during this eclipse moment. And here, Jupiter in Cancer generally expands expands our emotional energy and our capacity for nurturing, for belonging, for generally for healing as well. So this generally suggests that whatever occurs around this time can be very, very healing. This could be connected to a reconnection, for example. This could be connected to growth, development, for example. And it's a very supportive energy that generally it can also help to bring balance and harmony, even if the energy of this eclipse might feel destabilizing at times. Now, here we've got the solar point of this eclipse is in the sign of Virgo. So here the eclipsed moon is in Pisces and the solar point is in Virgo. Aligned here, so the solar point in Virgo is aligned with the south node, but also with Mercury. Mercury is now in Virgo as well. So here, Virgo energy is about order, precision, problem solving, structure. And generally here with its connection, the sun's connection, the sun in Virgo connection of the south node, this generally shows any habits, routines, structures, especially where we overly rely on perfectionism, for example. Perhaps it's time to um, look at them from a slightly different angle. Perhaps it's time to review these areas of our lives, these habits, these routines. Perhaps the time has come to let go of control as well. Now, Mercury, of course, is the ruler of Virgo, and it is in the sign of Virgo here as well, close to the south node and the eclipsed sun. So this generally gives our way of thinking much sharper, much more direct as well. So Mercury in Virgo, with Mercury in Virgo, there's a tendency to try solving everything rationally instead of listening to our intuition. So perhaps during this time, try to slow down. Find some time for peace and quiet to collect your thoughts. This is quite essential during this time. All right. So, as I mentioned earlier, this eclipse is connected to the new moon that took place in March, exactly on March the 10th of 2024. So this is when we seeded some intentions. Perhaps you start a new career, a new project, business, relationship. So now the time has come to review these goals, intentions, projects, relationships, and generally, it is a moment, without a doubt, of the redirection. And if what began then wasn't aligned, especially with our growth, with the direction we should be heading, then this eclipse will make it very visible, very noticeable, but also it may close a phase in this chapter so that a new one can begin. That's why there is this sense of redirection. All right, so as you can see, lots of creative, lots of compassionate energy as well. But at the same time, here with the North Node energy, this is about where we are going, not about necessarily where we have been. So with the eclipsed sun in Virgo and the eclipsed moon in the sign of Pisces, this is also a time to let go of any tendencies of over perfectionism. Perhaps this is about trusting the bigger picture that we might not fully see at this point of the month in our lives, if you will. All right, so a little bit about this eclipse. Now let's see how this eclipse will influence each zodiac sign on a deeper level. So here we'll start from the first sign, from Aries. So Aries, welcome. All right, so for you, this eclipse is happening in your 12th house, the area of the hidden aspects of your life, of endings, subconscious fears, anything to do with spirituality, spiritual awakening. So this is a very mystical here energy. And overall, when the 12th house is activated by an eclipse, life often feels as generally um, something invisible, like invisible forces are pulling you in directions that you quite can't see or understand at this point in your life. So it can bring also the need for spending time alone, for healing, for generally for a mental detox in a way. And since March 2024, when the Pisces new moon took place, which planted seeds in this area of your chart, this is generally perhaps when you began a new project from behind the scenes, for example. Perhaps this could have been connected to a spiritual awakening, anything to do with healing, anything to do with mental health, for example, your mental health. This eclipse brings clarity and generally what was hidden beneath the surface is going to be illuminated during this time. So, this is when your dreams could be much more vivid. You might experience insomnia around this time, but at the same time, your intuition is heightened. And definitely take note of your thoughts, of any ideas that come into your mind. And of course, it's a North Node eclipse. And this could indicate a major turning point as well. All right, we have a square to the part of fortune taking place. So this could indicate that perhaps you might be letting go of something that once provided comfort, security. But at the same time, this eclipse is helping you to free yourself, to liberate yourself from any burdens that perhaps keep you stuck, that hold you back from moving forward. With the trine to Jupiter in Cancer in your 4th house, this energy offers a sense of grounding, emotional support as well. It's happening in your 4th house where Jupiter is present. And this can bring a lot of supportive energy coming from your home, from your family, from your roots where you come from, healing, and perhaps this could be connected to some kind of reconnection as well. And of course, the eclipsed Sun, Mercury, and the South Node are in Virgo in your 6th house. And this could indicate that perhaps you might be dealing with some urgent matters at your work, in your everyday life. And very often with a lunar eclipse, with the sun and the moon being in opposition, this could also indicate a certain degree of a pull between your obligations, responsibilities, duties, and also your need for peace and quiet, for reflection. So if perhaps you feel like you've been working too much, you haven't had time to take care of yourself, of your physical body, then this eclipse will prompt you to take a break and perhaps it's about self-care overall, self-care, self-worth. All right, so thank you very much, Aries. Now let's have a look at the next sign, Taurus. Taurus, welcome. This eclipse is taking place in your area of friendships, groups that you belong to, long-term goals and hopes and wishes. So here, this eclipse, first of all, well, it could indicate a major turning point in your in the groups you belong to, in the networks that you're part of, in your friendships. But think about also the new moon in March that took place in March 2024. Because since that new moon, perhaps you've been reassessing your goals, your future goals, perhaps any communities that you belong to, any connections, friendships in your life. This eclipse will bring the clarity that you may have lacked. And at the same time, this could also indicate that perhaps some friendships, some connections may strengthen around this time, while others may fall away, perhaps because they might no longer resonate with the person that you are becoming. Now, the eclipsed moon is conjunct the North Node, and this generally indicates that perhaps your life, your destiny, your future goals are manifesting or unfolding, if you will, through any collaborations, connections. So generally, it might be that you might feel that perhaps some communities, friendships are very supportive around this time. And here, overall, we've got a square to the part of fortune as well. And squares can bring a certain degree of discomfort, an obstacle that you might have to overcome. Perhaps you might have to step outside your comfort zone, leave familiar circles, for example, or perhaps take some risks in order to move forward toward your true path. But at the same time, we have a beautiful trine to Jupiter in Cancer. And this is absolutely fantastic. Jupiter feels fantastic and comfortable and strong in Cancer, in your third house. So this is a very supportive energy. And this could indicate that perhaps some new opportunities will open up for you in the area of learning, in the area of anything to do with communication, for example. And overall, this could also indicate a very healing conversation, some good news that could inspire you. This is a good time for networking, for writing, for developing your skills, perhaps also working with others on a mutual, perhaps project towards a mutual goal, for example. Now, the eclipsed Sun, Mercury, and the South Node are in your fifth house, and in the area of creativity, individuality, self-expression, romance, children. So perhaps your romantic relationship, or perhaps your children, or some personal projects you're involved to, may also be an important factor or an element in your life, in your decisions, perhaps that you'll be making around this time. All right. So overall, here with the 11th house, this is also about experiencing a turning point in your sense of belonging to a community. It's about the people that you surround yourself with as well. All right, so now let's have a look at the next sign. Thank you, Taurus. Let's have a look at Geminis. And Geminis, for you, this is a big one. It's happening in your 10th house of career, professional life growth, and development. And here we've got generally, a lunar eclipse here, a North Node lunar eclipse, could indicate a major turning point in your public life. Think about that new moon in Pisces that took place in March 2024, and generally, what seeds did you plant around that time? Because you might be reaching a turning point at the time of this eclipse. The eclipsed moon is in a close proximity to the North Node. So this makes this moment fated energy. And generally the choices that you'll be making around this time, these choices will likely influence your life for many years ahead. So make your choices wisely, because this is your a time when you might receive perhaps some kind of rewards, recognition. You might be going through some career-related shifts, making really significant, important decisions about your path, about your future path. Now, at the same time, we've got a square to the part of fortune as well. And this indicates that even though whatever that is happening now, it might be, perhaps it might require you to get out of your comfort zone. It also requires courage. Through courage, you experience a sense of growth. So perhaps you need to leave behind the safety of what's familiar, to pursue a direction that truly aligns with the version of you that's becoming, basically. We've got a trine to Jupiter as well in Cancer in your second house, and this showed that the professional shifts, the career-related shifts that you are experiencing, going through, they will, or they may strengthen. So there's an opportunity for a financial boost, for a confidence boost as well. But whatever you decide to do, whatever direction you decide to move forward into or toward into, it needs to align with your values, with your sense of growth and worth as well. Now, the eclipsed sun is with Mercury and the South Node in Virgo in the opposing house, in the fourth house. This also indicates a certain degree of tension between your career choices, between your public life and the private, the home area of your life. So perhaps some family responsibilities, home related dynamics. Perhaps there is a need to find a balance between the two, and perhaps make sure that everything is working efficiently at your home, so that you can follow your career path more efficiently, more effectively. All right, so thank you very much, Geminis. That's here what I've got for you. Now let's have a look at Cancers. Cancers, welcome. Here we've got a lunar eclipse activating your ninth house, the area of travel, higher learning, philosophy, spiritual growth, spiritual development. Think about the new moon that took place in March 2024 in the sign of Pisces. And because generally, especially anything to do with travel, learning, spiritual growth, spiritual development, because this lunar eclipse brings a culmination to that matter, to that project. So perhaps you might be completing a degree, publishing a project, for example, embarking on a new journey, or this could be about your worldviews changing, your beliefs, your life philosophy as well. The eclipsed moon is aligned with the North Node, which is about the future, the unknown, the unexplored. And this also shows that your destiny, that the path that you should follow, is connected to broadening your horizons. So this eclipse isn't just about moving physically. This is about stretching your mind. This is about generally broadening your horizons, your wisdom beyond what you already know. We've got a square to the part of fortune as well. Squares represent tension, a possible obstacle that you may have to overcome, perhaps, as you step away from your familiar beliefs or perhaps environments. It might feel risky, but it's exactly what you need in order to experience a sense of growth, fulfillment as well. Now, this eclipse also forms a beautiful trine with Jupiter in Cancer in your first house. So this is beautiful. This is a blessing and a very optimistic, courageous energy that can bring some really interesting opportunities that can help you to expand your worldview. So generally here, at the same time, we have the sun, the eclipsed sun. And of course, new opportunities with that Jupiter in Cancer activation as well, that can help you to move forward. But here, the eclipsed Sun, Mercury, and Virgo are in your third house. So this also could be connected to having to deal with some paperwork, some contracts, some logistics as well. So overall, it's with that Virgo emphasis here, Mercury being in Virgo as well. Don't let overanalysis prevent you from seeing the bigger picture of the opportunities that arise around this time. All right, so this is what I've got for you, Cancers. Now let's have a look at the next sign, and this is Leos. Leos, welcome. And here we've got the chart for Leo. Now, right, so we've got a Pisces lunar eclipse happening in your eighth house, and the eighth house deals with anything to do with shared and joint resources, transformation, and deep emotional undercurrents, so to speak. Think about the new moon that initiated this cycle. So that was March 2024. And this is when perhaps you planted some seeds in this area of your life. Perhaps you established a new partnership. Perhaps you took a mortgage or a loan, or you entered a deep, intimate connection. For example, perhaps you started a big personal transformational phase of your life, if you will. So overall, whatever the scenario, this eclipse brings culmination, brings clarity, a momentum, forward momentum. And generally, this could be when some contracts, debts, partnership, for example, may reach a turning point. And generally, things become clear, even any imperfections or anything that's not working efficiently, effectively, is going to become much more visible around this time, and helping you to generally perhaps let go of what's not working in order for you to move forward. But here, the eclipsed moon is conjunct the North Node, and the North Node is in Pisces. So this generally, with the North Node energy, this is about moving forward. And perhaps with the eighth house influence, you might have to confront some fears, any generally patterns, tendencies connected to dependency, intimacy, vulnerability, power struggles. And this is a time and an opportunity, if you will, to let go of any of these habits, themes, attachments, and also anything to do with any financial attachments, entanglements, emotional even, that no longer support the person that you are becoming. We've got a square to the part of fortune as well, and this highlights perhaps any discomfort of surrender. They need to get out of the comfort zone, even if it might feel uncomfortable at times. And perhaps it's also a time when you might have to give up control over things that perhaps you can't control. And it could feel uncomfortable at first. All right, so we have a beautiful trine to Jupiter in Cancer in your 12th house, and Jupiter in Cancer offers a spiritual protection, spiritual blessings. So this indicates that perhaps some inner healing therapy could really help you, or anything to do with perhaps meditation, spending time in nature can really help you navigate these shifts or any emotional struggles that you might experience around this time. So your intuition is likely to be very, very strong. You might be a lot in your head as well, analyzing, overanalyzing. Definitely spend some time, perhaps on doing things that help you rest, relax. The eclipsed Sun and Mercury and the South Node are in your second house of personal resources, possessions, finances. So this is also about finding a healthy balance between um, your personal perhaps between independence and generally between your what's yours and perhaps what you want to share with others. So whatever comes to an end shouldn't be feared around this time. Don't fear any endings because what you're leaving behind, what you're letting go of, this is when you create space for something deeper, more in alignment, more empowering to come to you. So thank you very much, Leos. And now let's move on into Virgos. Virgos, welcome. This is hugely important eclipse season for you with the eclipses activating your first and the seventh house. So we've got the Pisces lunar eclipse first in your seventh house of relationships, contracts, and anything to do with love, marriage, partnership. So this is one of the most significant eclipses for you because it directly highlights your important one-to-one connections in your life, whether romantic, professional, and this eclipse even shows how you relate to others, to the world around you. Now, in order to better understand this eclipse, think about what you started, what you initiated back in March 2024 in this area of your life, whether this was a new contract, a work contract, or a rental contract, or a new friendship, new connection in your life, whatever it is. Here, this is a turning point during this eclipse season, without a doubt. And this is when some relationships can deepen into a much greater and a deeper commitment, while others might end, especially if they no longer align with your future, with your beliefs, with the direction that you're heading. Now, the eclipsed moon aligns with the North Node. So generally, this indicates that your future unfolds through others. So relationships play a very important role in your life during this time. It's not a time to completely shut yourself away from people. One-to-one connections are important now, partnerships generally and collaborations, but at the same time, you can learn a lot about yourself through relationships around this time. Now, the square to the part of fortune, this could indicate potential fears. It could bring up some feelings of fears or doubts, especially connected to vulnerability or loss. And these energies also indicate that a lot of courage is needed around this time, especially to open up to what's about to come up and emerge. Now, thankfully, we've got a beautiful trine to Jupiter in Cancer in your 11th house. So this suggests that generally friendships and communities, social networks can be very, very supportive around this time. So it could be perhaps about connected to a friend who might provide some valuable healing guidance, optimism, help, support around this time. Now, the Sun and the Mercury and the South Node are in Virgo in your first house. And watch out for any tendencies connected to self-criticism around this time, perhaps over-analysis and perfectionism. This eclipse season perhaps during this eclipse season, you might need to release any old patterns, themes, habits, even connected to control. This season, these energies are about allowing yourself to show up more authentically in your relationships. But here, trust will be needed as well. Right. So, and of course, with Pisces energies, also about boundaries, healthy and clear boundaries. All right. So, thank you very much, Virgos. This is what I've got for you about this eclipse. Now, let's have a look at Libras. Libras, welcome. We've got a South Node eclipse activating your sixth house of work, everyday life, everyday routine. So this is one of the most practical yet karmic areas of the chart, because this energy is about aligning your everyday life, everyday reality, your lifestyle with your higher purpose. So think about what you started, what kind of new lifestyle changes you went through since March 2024, this cycle began, and that was during the new moon in Pisces that took place around the 10th of March 2024. So think about any lifestyle changes that you began around this time, work-related changes, because this eclipse may reveal which of those goals, seeds that you planted around that time, um, have come to fruition, and perhaps which ones need to be released, let go of. Now, the eclipsed moon aligns with the North Node, and this generally shows that your future, the direction that you're moving towards, unfolds and manifests through generally developing healthy habits of your daily reality, habits that can help you heal rather than perhaps create unnecessary stress. So, this eclipse is overall about building a lifestyle that is sustainable, that positively affects your well being overall. Now, we've got a square. Well, having said that, this could indicate some routines, shifts, changes as well, but maybe even work related changes, how you work, your schedule, whether you're going back to the office or working from home, or whether there are some changes to your working hours. There is a kind of shift and change of direction taking place. We've got a square to the part of fortune, which could this energy could be create a little bit of tension, because it generally highlights the need to find a healthy balance between your work and your everyday life and your personal time to rest, to recharge as well. So any imbalance will become very visible, noticeable around this time. And perhaps the time has come to prioritize yourself, even if it might feel uncomfortable for some, because any discomfort, any perhaps opportunity to get out of your comfort zone is also a doorway to growth, personal development, healing. We've got a beautiful trine to Jupiter in Cancer in your 10th house, which offers lots of blessings and positive energy that can help generally your overall well-being, and can benefit your career, your reputation as well. And generally, by aligning your lifestyle, your daily life, with what nourishes your soul, you simultaneously create a much you generally create more opportunities for professional success, for generally personal fulfillment as well. Now, the eclipsed Sun, Mercury, and the South Node are in Virgo in your 12th house, and this generally emphasizes some hidden patterns, perhaps hidden fears, limiting thoughts, beliefs that are sabotaging your progress. So here, definitely pay attention to these subtle ways that hold you back from moving forward, from experiencing a sense of fulfillment. All right, so thank you very much, Libras. Now, Scorpios, welcome. And at this point, I'm going to have to take a little sip of my tea. Excuse me. All right, so Scorpios, welcome to your lunar eclipse in Pisces horoscope. So we've got the fifth house activated during this time, the area of creativity, children, romance, self-expression. So this area of the chart is very much connected to having the courage to express yourself authentically, to take risks, to follow your passions. And think about the new moon in Pisces that took place in March 2024 on March the 10th. Think about what seeds did you plant connected to self expression, love, play, children. And because this eclipse brings those themes to light, to the surface. Now, the eclipse moon aligns with the North Node at this time. So this generally shows that your future, your destiny, your direction, your future direction is connected to or is even manifested through creativity, through expressing your authentic self. So this eclipse is in a way allowing you or prompting you to stop hiding your light. It's about sharing your gifts, your wisdom, your talents, whether through artistic projects, whether through being authentic, real, not being afraid to be vulnerable, for example. And generally, this is about enjoying life without worrying what other people think, for example. Now, the square to the part of fortune, this just generally suggests a possible fear of judgment or perhaps some kind of external pressure that you might be experiencing. And watch out for these tendencies because they will hold you back from experiencing new activities, from taking risks. And at the same time, it could also indicate that perhaps other people's expectations or others' expectations overall might clash with what you want, with what you desire. But growth, personal fulfillment, personal development comes from choosing yourself around this time. Because here, the lower part of the chart is centered around you, around your life, around your family, around your roots, your financial capabilities, and so on. So this area of the chart focuses on your self-expression, your sense of joy and what brings you joy, your hobbies, your interests. So don't be afraid to choose yourself around this time. Don't feel guilty about this. Now we've got a trine to Jupiter in Cancer as well in your ninth house. So this is also about generally engaging in activities connected to personal growth, personal development. This energy generally encourages you really, really, truly and fully to generally seek inspiration through studying, through learning, through engaging in learning about yourself through astrology, for example, through attending workshops, through reading books, learning languages, traveling, anything to do with broadening your horizons as well. Now, the eclipsed Sun, Mercury, and the South Node are in Virgo in your 11th house, so this highlights some group pressures, for example. This could indicate that perhaps friends or communities, there could be some kind of expectations that you might have to fulfill. And at the same time, this could also indicate that because, of course, after this eclipse, we've got this major solar eclipse in the area of friendships and groups. And I think that there is some kind of new connections, new people that will be entering your life, entering your reality. And I think this could also indicate some upcoming realizations about friendships, about perhaps having too high expectations of others at times, and or perhaps having too idealistic view of what friendships should look like. But we'll cover more about this in the next horoscope, the solar eclipse in Virgo horoscope. this is what I've got for you today. Thank you very much, Scorpios. And now Sagittarius. Sagittarius, welcome. We've got the upcoming eclipse in the sign of um, Pisces. A lunar eclipse in Pisces happening on the 7th of September, shining its light on your fourth house, the area of home and family, emotional foundations, your roots, where you come from, your sense of belonging as well is highlighted here. So think about the new moon in Pisces that initiated this cycle. So that would have been March 2024, March the 10th. So think about any new beginnings that occurred in the area of emotional security, stability, family foundations, because this eclipse may reveal what needs to change in order for you to feel truly grounded, truly rooted. Now, the moon, the eclipsed moon, connects with the north node at this time, and this generally indicates that your future direction, your destiny, um, at this point in your life is going to take place through growing your roots, creating a home, and creating this sense of inner emotional safety and security. So perhaps for some, this could indicate that you will be moving, restructuring your family dynamics. There could be some new routines that you'll be implementing. Perhaps you'll be redecorating. Perhaps someone is moving in or out from your home around this time. But at the same time here, this Pisces eclipse could also bring up some unhealed past memories connected to your childhood, connected to your past, that will need to be released. Right, so we've got a square to the part of fortune as well this time, and this generally also further encourages you to leave behind any familiar patterns that perhaps are holding you back, that are blocking you from establishing emotional safety and stability in your life. Now we have a supportive trine to Jupiter in Cancer happening at this time. Jupiter in Cancer is in your 8th house. Jupiter in Cancer can bring a lot of healing energy, but at the same time, Jupiter illuminates anything that it touches. So generally with Jupiter in the 8th house, there is a major, a lot of situations from the past may come up into the surface, giving you a chance to see them, understand them through a different light. But at the same time, this is a major opportunity for healing, letting go. And this energy also reminds you that of the support that you have in your life, because the 8th house is about the support that comes through others, whether your partner, whether your family members, or some trusted people in your life, your network. So you don't have to carry all these burdens on your own, or all these changes that you're going through on your own. It's okay to ask for help. It's okay to receive help as well. Now, the eclipse, Sun, Mercury, and also the South Node are in your 10th house. So this also indicates that your career, your public life, your outside world demands your attention at this time. But especially when we reach this, the Virgo solar eclipse. But in the meantime, you need to establish and sort out things at your home in order to establish or experience a greater sense of fulfillment in your public life, in your outside world, in your career life. So thank you very much. And let's now look at Capricorns. Capricorns, welcome. This eclipse is illuminating your 3rd house. So the third house deals with communication, learning, your siblings, your local community, local environment. And eclipses often bring major turning points, revelations as well. And think about the new moon in Pisces that took place in March 2024. Think about any new beginnings connected to some new contracts, new businesses, new websites, perhaps some mutual projects with your siblings, next of kin. Whatever the scenario here, this eclipse brings some shifts in this area of your life. Right. This could also indicate a major mindset, a change of your mindset, major shifts of your mindset. Now, the eclipse moon aligns with the North Node at this time. So, this points to your destiny, to the future. And this is about being authentic. This is about being true to yourself. Perhaps this is about learning to be more open in your communication or your communication style, in how you communicate with others. Perhaps this is about speaking from your heart rather than so purely relying on logic or control. And this could be also in regards to having to make some important decision, signing some important contracts. We've got a square to the part of fortune, which suggests that perhaps you might be experiencing some fears around vulnerability, for example. And this could be a time when you might be taking some risks or you might have to take some risks. But this is also about an opportunity for perhaps allowing yourself to open yourself up to some new connections within your immediate environment as well, some deeper connections. Now we have a beautiful trine to Jupiter in Cancer in your seventh house. And this indicates that perhaps you might receive some support, or you might feel like you can count on your partner, or this could be about receiving support, help from some mentor, from another person. The seventh house deals with one-to-one connections. So the right people here, this could also be a wake-up call. Who are the right people in your life, who you can count on in your life, because these people will be very encouraging. They will be encouraging you and they will feel like you can count on them. We got the Sun and Mercury and the South Node in Virgo in your ninth house at this time. And generally, this eclipse with the third house is about focusing on the practical, mundane reality, even if you might be drifting away and perhaps you might be tempted to focus on the bigger picture. This eclipse is more about focusing on the small and consistent actions. Rather than perhaps drifting too far away, you will have an opportunity for doing so. And during the solar eclipse in Virgo, at the moment, it is about perhaps more mundane, practical energy, because that's very powerful around this time. All right, so that's here, this eclipse. And now let's have a look at the next sign, Aquarius. And for you, this is happening in your second house. So the financial houses are activated at this time. The second house deals with money, financial resources, possessions, self-worth. But this is the area of life connected to self-sufficiency, financial independence as well. This particular eclipse connects to the new moon in Pisces that took place on March the 10th of 2024. So think about what new beginnings occurred in your life around that time connected to your financial area of your life, whether that was a new income stream, a new business, some financial changes, income changes you went through. For example, perhaps you made a major purchase. Here, This eclipse generally for you may feel especially tangible because it highlights how you earn, what you value, how you measure your sense of security, financial safety, and security. So, this eclipse overall, in connection to that new moon in Pisces that took place in March 2024, could be a turning point. We've got the eclipsed moon in connection to the North Node in your second house. So this shows that generally that you're redefining at this point in your life, you're redefining your relationship with money, but also this could be connected to some shifts taking place in what you value in your relationship with the physical object. So it's an amazing time for decluttering, for getting rid of what you don't need. Perhaps you want to become more of a minimalist, for instance. This is a great time for doing so. So generally, this eclipse also reminds those with this placement that your worth, your sense of worth, your sense of self-worth doesn't have to or shouldn't come from external validation. Should come from within. Now, the square to the part of fortune, this could indicate some potential discomfort that you might experience. Perhaps you might have to make an important financial decision at this time. Perhaps you might have to take some risks. But perhaps whatever that takes place, whatever risks that you make, whatever decisions that you make around this time, they may be very necessary for you to align with your future, with the direction that you're heading. Now, we also have a trine to Jupiter in Cancer in your sixth house. So beautiful energy because this generally suggests that the positive changes that take place at your work, for example, in your lifestyle, some lifestyle changes that you might be going through, they could bring more stability into your life. And this is very, very positive for your overall well-being. All right. So at the same time, the eclipsed sun, Mercury, and the South Node are in your eighth house of Virgo. So this also brings a certain degree of attention into any debts, financial entanglements, perhaps some partnerships you might be involved in. And any imbalance in this area of your life will become very, very visible. But at the same time, there will be more about this topic, more about these energies in the solar eclipse in Virgo. That's definitely going to influence these energies. At this point, you might generally have this little sensation, especially if there is some kind of imbalance taking place in this area of your chart. But at this point, this is what I've got for you. Thank you very much. Now let's have a look at Pisces. Pisces. And for Pisces, this is your first house. So a very important eclipse without a doubt, because it is connected to your identity, to your direction, anything to do with physical appearance, self-expression. So it's a deeply personal turning point for you because this eclipse shines its light directly on you. So think about the new moon that took place in March 2024. You may have gone through a powerful transformation during that time. You may have begun a major new phase in your life, in your career, in your relationship. Perhaps you changed your style. Perhaps you managed to let go of some negative habit that you've struggled to let go of for quite some time. This eclipse brings a major shift. We've got the eclipsed moon and the North Node in your first house. And you might feel like you want to change your style, change your image. Perhaps could be also about a change of your direction, life direction. There's a square to the part of fortune taking place. And this could indicate that perhaps you might have to get out of your comfort zone, leave behind something familiar, something that you're comfortable with, but perhaps something that you have already outgrown, and perhaps a new version of yourself is kind of emerging. But first, you need to leave behind what is no longer in alignment, and this could be slightly uncomfortable for some. We've got this trine to Jupiter in Cancer in your fifth house as well, which brings a lot of encouragement and joy and love, creativity. So perhaps this could be about engaging in some new projects, hobbies. This also highlights your children, the romantic side of your life as well. There's a need for authenticity, for being your true self, for freeing yourself from any energies, habits, themes connected to overthinking, over perfectionism, for example, that make you feel stuck. So, at the same time, the eclipsed Sun, Mercury, and the South Node are in your seventh house. So there's also a certain degree of transformation happening in one-to-one connections, one-to-one relationship, a very subtle one probably at this point, because the much stronger energies will come up around the 21st of September. But watch out for any people who might want to challenge your decisions, your choices around this time. Stay true to yourself, and remember to set clear and healthy boundaries around this time, because this is a rebirth moment without a doubt. And generally, what ends now is, in a way, clearing the way for a new version of yourself gradually emerging. So, thank you so much and all the best.